About a year ago, I discovered this guy named Caleb Hammer. And if you don't know who he is, his channel has someone or a couple who sit in front of him while he audits their income statements, bank statements, expenses, and debts. His financial audits are not just educational to his audience, but he is helping these people in bad financial situations. And I help my clients with their finances almost on a daily basis. I don't get to exactly yell at my clients like Caleb does, but what he tells the people he interviews is direct and necessary, but also compassionate. My job is not to tell my clients about what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. I think Caleb is doing exactly that in his videos. The shorts I'm about to watch were compiled by someone else, so I haven't watched any of these videos yet. And if you've never heard of Caleb Hammer, I'll make sure to link his channel and every video I watch in the description below.
Let's go.
The minimum due payment's $1,095.
Yes.
It's a minivan, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know those still existed.
We had the Sienna. The Sienna is the one that we got into the accident with, and it got totaled.
Yes?
No, not this one. This is the new
It
one.
was a red one.
How did the insurance work for that? Did it pay off the remaining?
Yes, it paid off the remaining, but in November, we had gotten a Prius. Didn't work for our family.
Why'd you get the Prius then?
I tried to convince her to get the van, but I think she was emotionally distraught with the accident. And she was thinking, hey, this is different. We're going to save money with getting better gas mileage.
It was an electric Prius. This was a prime plug-in. So it did partially gas, but partially electric. The payment was lower, but 3 kids in the backseat of a Prius, not considering my child being 5'3" and 160 pounds. So
5'3" isn't that tall.
no, but 160 pounds
11.
between a car seat and a booster seat doesn't work.
Send them to the fun park somewhere.
Wow, $1,100 a month for a car payment is absolutely insane. And that's a, what was it, 2022 Toyota Sienna? I don't even know what that HV stands for. They probably just roll that negative equity into the new car loan over and over and over again. I did the same thing for about 10 years and I just constantly roll that negative equity over from one car to another. So I just thought it was a normal thing to do. A lot of people, including myself back then, don't actually see how every vehicle depreciates so much over time. And I used to drive a Honda Civic and I would trade in that vehicle like every 3 to 4 years. And I would just buy it brand new, 2010 Honda Civic, and it would just depreciate by at least 50 or 60% by the time I traded in for a brand new Honda Civic. And my car payments in 2013 were about $680 a month from 2 vehicles that I just did not need. And I had a 2007 Acura and a 2012 Honda Civic. And I owed a total of $40,000 between 2 car loans. And that was way back in 2013. What I ended up doing is selling one of my vehicles back to the dealership and the other vehicle on Craigslist. Remember Craigslist? And then I just bought a used Honda Civic for much cheaper. And car loans are probably the second worst type of debt behind credit cards because you borrow money on something that depreciates in value every year. If the interest rate for your car loan is 8% and your vehicle depreciates by, let's say, 15% annually, you're really losing about 23% in total interest and your net worth. And I would never finance a car ever again after paying off all of my debt back in December 2015. And instead, I just invest what I would pay for that car payment in a taxable brokerage account and only buy a vehicle every 15 to 20 years. I'm gonna drive my current car until it completely dies. And do you know what $1,100 a month, what was it, 1096? $1,100 a month in an index fund making an 8% average annual return in 7 years. That's about $100,000, $110,000 in total investments. So if I invest that for 20 years, what is that? Like about $600,000? You can fact check me by using the compound interest calculator by visiting firesightshare.com/resources. All it takes is to drive something that is used for now so that later you can buy a brand new car with the investments you made so that you never have to worry about taking out a car loan ever again. So make the sacrifices now.
$1,000 in emergency fund, which, believe it or not, Dave Ramsey, is not even close to enough money. And many people have come on the show and they did the $1,000 emergency fund, and then they ended up in a worse situation than they were before because it's not enough money to cover anything in this world.
It's not.
1 month emergency fund or cover your highest deductible. Avalanche or snowball, I think you're going to be more of a snowball person. Stop putting little bits of extra towards the debts. That's not a method that works for anyone because you're just going to see like the feeling of no progress.
Yeah.
Close your credit cards. You're not a credit card person. Stop spending your daily spending on that other credit card. It's stupid.
Absolutely agree with the credit cards. If you can carry, if you can pay it off every single month, you should never carry a credit card. But I agree that $1,000 in an emergency fund is not enough. But to be fair, Dave Ramsey did say that $1,000 is not meant to be enough, and he hasn't changed that baby step rule in I don't know how many decades, because he wants people to get really intense with paying off the debt. The common argument is that $1,000 should be increased, and Dave Ramsey's principle is to keep it at $1,000 and put everything towards debt, and then increase it to 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. I'm a little different when it comes to $1,000 in an emergency fund. I call that a rainy day fund by adding up all of the insurance deductibles I currently have. For example, if I have a $500 car insurance deductible, $500, let's say, medical deductible for an emergency room visit, and $1,000 in homeowners insurance deductible in case of a flood or something like that, then I would have at least $2,000 set aside in a rainy day fund. So I'm tackling my debt right now, and I get into a car accident, then I would take that $500 out of my rainy day fund and pay the deductible for my car insurance. That makes sense so far, right? What I teach people to do at that point is only to pay the debts with minimum payments when you replenish that $500 you took out of the rainy day fund. Once you replenish that $500, then you put extra towards the debt again. And I get what Dave is saying, and I also get what Caleb is saying. You might only need $1,000 because that covers your total deductibles. But if you have a family to take care of, you might need to put a little more towards the rainy day fund, depending on your financial situation. Your $1,000 or $2,000 is supposed to be the cushion between you and your debt repayments. So you can always schedule a one-on-one session with me by visiting firesession.com/coaching if you want me to go over your debt statements. By the way, I am so fired up to announce the launch of my private FIRE community for people just like you and me who are passionate about investing, saving, and achieving financial independence and exploring different possibilities to retire early. My private community will allow you to connect with me on the platform and get in touch with other like-minded individuals or couples who are just as serious as you are with the FIRE movement. As a member of my private community, you'll get resources like investing, saving, paying off debt, or finding the right place to grow your money. For a very limited time, please enjoy the free trial by clicking the link in the description below.
What are you? You've missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 payments.
Oh.
Is that a credit card?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. It's not my credit card. I don't make payments to that credit card.
What do you mean it's not yours?
I mean, it's under my name and all, but it's under mine and my mother's name.
Oh,
So, yeah.
why are you on it? Did she come to you and be like, yo, come on this?
Yeah, I was just super young. I paid zero mind to that credit card.
But that's not good. This is f***ing you, you know?
I don't have the financial aid to take care of that. My mom knows that I'm upset about it and stuff. What's supposed to do?
You guys have a strained relationship, clearly.
Oh, no. Me and her are very wobbly terms.
So a strained relationship.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know what strained meant. Thought that was like a
Strained?
good... Oh, I thought you meant like a good relationship. It's a wobbly relationship for sure. Just to clarify.
Do you have like, access to the login or anything?
What do you mean?
Do you have access to the login for
Oh,
this
the
card?
login. I have login to the information. I see that account all the time.
Ooh, wow, this is bad. Her mom just had her probably added as an authorized user on her mom's credit card. On a side note, you should never open a credit card on your child's behalf because that would be illegal. You can't technically open a credit card under your child's name because your child has to be at least 18 years old to open a credit card. But just keep in mind that adding your child as an authorized user is fine, but it's not a good thing if you can't pay the credit cards on time, because then that's gonna affect your child's credit scores too. But because both of them are missing the credit card payments. Their credit scores must be really disastrous right now. And the payment history is what makes up the credit score the most. I have received so many questions in the past about whether you should add your child as an authorized user on your credit card to build their credit scores. I would never recommend it. They can build their credit scores on their own when they grow up. Chase has a debit card for kids, and that's how I teach my daughter how to save and spend her money from her own checking account. Just having her, shop for a toy at Target or Walmart and going to the checkout lane is a much better learning experience than adding her to one of my credit cards as an authorized user just to build her credit scores. It's the sense of ownership, right? Eventually, you want to teach your kids the responsibility of paying their credit cards with a full balance and on time every month. I don't know this lady's life story, but she should ask to take her name off of her mom's credit card as soon as possible because her mom's not making any payments, or she's missing like 3 to 5 payments, right?
We're sitting here with a balance of $6,360.17. Basically 3 months of what comes in net. $1,000 away from being at your credit limit there, which I could see, which you could get to overnight because you only put your minimum monthly payment down on it, but then you went and spent $1,095. Well, interest of $146.26 was accruing.
Yeah, so your interest is really bad on that. I don't realize.
So why do we spend? Why do we spend $1,000? Yeah, the interest was really bad on that. So you acknowledge that. So why would we spend on it? That doesn't make any sense.
Nice things, like little knickknacks and stuff.
Nice things like in our entire future.
Things are nice to look at. There's things to like to hang
I
up.
like to look at credit card balances being zero. That looks pretty nice.
I mean,
I'll
that's
frame
nice
that.
too. That's nice too. That used to be me, but now I'm just kind of.
Well, it's not, and you're not a credit card person, obviously.
No, I'm not.
So this is how I teach my clients. Credit cards are fun to use if you pay them off by the entire balance every single month. That means if I spend $1,000 on a Chase Southwest credit card in the month of July, then I'm gonna pay off the complete balance off. What is it? $1,000 by July 31st. So that starting on August 1st, it's going to be reset to $0 in the balance. Any rewards that I get will just be applied to my Southwest Airlines tickets because I use that to travel from Las Vegas to San Jose or St. Louis every single year. And I usually get about 3 round-trip plane tickets for free every year. But if you don't have the discipline or the budget to pay off your credit card balance every month, then I need you to stop using your credit cards immediately. As soon as you start accruing interest on your credit card, you're gonna start paying 25 or 30% in interest, and none of those credit cards rewards would even matter anymore. And trust me, I once had over $47,000 in credit card debt back in 2013. I had $6,000 in Capital One Master, $8,000 with a military star card. If you're a veteran, you know what I'm talking about. $9,000 with Capital One Visa, $12,000 with Chase, and another $12,000 with USAA. My credit utilization ratio was over 90% or close to maxing out my credit limit. And how did I get there? By simply not tracking my spending, and it was completely out of control. And I just bought things like a laptop, speakers, a TV, and other things I wanted, thinking that I could just pay them off in a few months. And I had a serious spending problem. It took me almost 2 years to pay everything off, making $58,000 a year at the time. I took an oath to myself that I would never get myself into that kind of situation ever again. And I am never carrying over a credit card balance, getting another car loan, personal loan, or 401k loan ever again.
$132,000 of student loans.
Oh God, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
No,
What happened here?
I went to school.
Yeah. It's a little more than
Stupidest thing
that.
ever. I went to school.
School's not necessarily stupid, but there's stupid ways to go about it. Where'd you go?
Ashford University, then University of Arizona, online campus. From 2012 to 2022. I took some breaks.
Yeah. Okay.
So they were deferred for that long, and then.
Did you get a degree?
Oh yeah, I got 3. I have an associate's in early childhood education, a bachelor's in English language learner studies, and a master's in psychology. I wanted to be a relationship coach or a therapist.
I would not want you
A
to be
psychiatrist.
relationship coach. You'd scare me.
Okay, I don't know anything about that lady, but relationship coach from 3 degrees. Yeah, wow. I'm not against college, but I am absolutely against student loan debt. And I really feel for the people who took out these student loans, but you need to do everything you can to pay the student loan off. If you're working for the federal government or a nonprofit, you might be able to apply for student loan forgiveness. But at the time I'm recording this video right now in July 2024, that forgiveness loan could be gone at any time. And depending on the government policy, right, or congressional or anything else, the Supreme Court ruling on many of these things, instead of waiting 10 years to have the student loan forgiveness to go through, I would personally pay it off as soon as possible so that I could invest a lot sooner. So just imagine this. You make the minimum payment on the student loan, and that usually doesn't cover enough to pay both the minimum principal and interest, even under that safe plan that they have going on. And let's just say by year 6 or 7, the government forgiveness plan goes away and you end up being stuck with all the interest that accrued over the years. If you're willing to take that risk, that's all you, right? If I were in her shoes from this video I just watched, I would pay it off as soon as possible. You don't want to carry the student loan until you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s. Because in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, you should be accumulating your wealth, right? And you should be buying a house. And then by 50s, you should be trying to pay off your house so that by 60, let's say you're looking to retire on time, you don't have any mortgage debt, you don't have any debt, you have over 7 figures invested so that you can quit your 9-to-5 job without, worrying about paying your bills and maybe traveling the world. She definitely took out way too much, in my honest opinion, but I get that schools are expensive. I hope she's doing the job that pays better with those degrees. If not, then they were just a waste of money and waste of time. But anyway, let me know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed this type of reaction video, and I hope you got a lot out of it.